Hi everyone, Matt here, Matt Yepes. I'm with the Career Center here at Miami University. I'm testing the microphone now. If you can hear me, do you mind just typing in the bottom right text box that you can hear me, or clicking on the green check mark? Make sure you can hear me okay. Great, awesome. Well, thanks for coming today. Again, my name is Matt Yepes, and I'm an assistant director with the Career Center here at Miami University. In this role, I serve as a career advisor for students here at Miami University. I want to thank you all for taking the time today, and hopefully you can see the PowerPoint presentation. It should say Pathways to Business Overview. Please feel free to let me know through a text chat if you're not able to see, or if there's any other technical issues. So a few quick things. At the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there is a text box, and you're more than welcome to ask any questions throughout the presentation. We'll have some time for Q&A at the end, but please do feel free to jump in and type any questions, and I will address those as we go. Well, great. Let's get started. So here's my contact information, and I believe you will be provided with this presentation after. But here's my info, and I'm always happy to help. Questions regarding Pathways to Business, questions regarding the Career Center, I'm happy to help with that. So I have my phone, my email, and also LinkedIn as well. I just want to give a quick background on myself to set context for this conversation. Again, my role is as a career advisor, helping students with their career development from basic exploration of helping one learn about what they want to do, what is out there, informational interviews, discovery in the professional world. And also helping students getting ready for their job or internship search, from resumes to cover letters to interview preparation. Our office also helps students prepare for graduate school as well. So we're a great resource to help. Prior to coming to work in higher education as a career advisor, I worked in business. I was in the recruiting field as the director of recruiting for a large financial services company. In that role, I was able to get some great experience about what recruiters are looking for, and I feel it translates very well into today's conversation of pathways to business. So please feel free to reach out. So I want to spend a few moments here to talk about approach, philosophy, if you will, in the career development field. You take a look back at we can classify it as that bit of a past or prior approach, was that major had to oftentimes equal career. And oftentimes there was this linear path from studies to career. It would be the straight line linear path. Now, granted, there are some fields, some areas where that may be common, but what we're starting to see now is this new age of college to career, this journey of these different turns where one's major may not necessarily equal the career, or what they're studying may give some unique exposure to get into a field that they never thought of. Just from personal experience working in business, some of the best financial advisors that we had with our company were those that studied in the humanities, in the arts. So we're starting to see that approach, and I feel it's very liberating for students to really understand what is out there and how they can build this approach of the foundation of education, varying on major and field, and translate that into success and chart pathways to business, whether they're studying business or whether they're not studying business. And our office can provide a resource to both groups of those students. So what I want to go over here and spend a little more time on this slide is going into overview of programs that our office has. So as an individual myself, I work with mainly students within the College of Arts and Science. I was meeting with the student who is, she's studying in the humanities side of work. She enjoys it, she likes her classes, but she's wanting to get into business. She's wanting to get into more of the finance side of things. In meeting with this student, she had a perception that the finance field would only hire her or be interested in her if she had a finance degree. And finance is what I studied. And granted, Absolutely, very, very marketable in terms of the finance field. But what we're helping this individual uncover is that if she's wanting a career in finance, even though she made a decision to not study that, she's absolutely able to make connections and pursue a path in that field. And in this interaction with this student, it was almost like a little light bulb went off and said, Nat, really, I can explore business careers without a business background? And I said, absolutely. As someone myself who used to teach at a business school and used to work in business, we valued those diverse perspectives and experiences. So what our office can do is we can help the student analyze and assess where they're coming from and how to articulate that to a recruiter, let's say in a resume, in an interview, a career fair interaction, or a cover letter. So those are all things we can help with. So I wanted to set a little bit of a foundation in terms of the marketability that our students have across the board to chart pathways into business. Here are a few programs I want to give an overview of very quickly. Career Treks. What this means in simple terms is our office takes groups of students to experience some really neat things, such as going to DC. We took a group of students to Washington, DC over January, about 12 students, and I led this group to visit 5 organizations over a few-day period. We visited some very neat organizations in the Washington, D.C. area, from government to nonprofits to for-profit industries. And our office at the Career Center puts in the heavy lifting of finding these organizations, of getting their permission, of setting up the agenda in recruiting the students. So from the students' perspective, there were 12 students who had a great time and had some life-changing experiences. And our office also walks these students through a program leading up and after this event where we prepare them for success, how to network, what questions to ask, and many of these students contribute or classify these events as very important and sometimes life-changing, or it opens them up to what's out there. And our office holds a number of these events throughout the year. Job Shadow Days. This is also an event that our office holds throughout the year. We recently did one over the summer. We had about 5 organizations in the Cincinnati region host a combined 45 students at various locations. And this is a great experience as well. Our office finds the companies, we organize the agenda, and we recruit the student and play matchmaker. So for the student, it's fantastic. They're able to show up to a company that they may never heard of and have a great experience. A success story I want to talk about is a student that was not studying business. She was in a separate field and was possibly interested in looking at business. And she did a job shadow with an insurance company. And before this visit, she really never thought of insurance or considered it or knew much about it. Fast forward a little bit, this student had an interview with another insurance company after this experience. And she leveraged the experience she had at the job shadow day with the insurance company to help her secure this internship at another insurance company. And the host at the original insurance company for the job shadow day was very grateful that the student was able to get this internship. So we're seeing some great successes occur because of these programs. We encourage all students to participate in these programs. What was nice about the one we recently did was over 25% of the participants were incoming first-year students. So we're always looking to engage students early and often. We also hold a number of career exploration panels. These are open to all majors, all students, and these can be great opportunities for students to learn about careers in business, law, government, nonprofit, health and medicine. We hold a number of these throughout the year in various categories and areas. I've put some hyperlinks here for when you receive this presentation. You can go and take a look at all of these. The third from the top is Handshake. Handshake is our online portal. The students' one of the resources for jobs and internships and connecting with our office. So the student can meet with their career advisor and they can see all of these programs in the schedule of when they're going to occur, just to make sure that they're keeping up to date on what's happening. Here's a great resource as well, and this relates to pathways to business as well. It's called Alumni Connect. This is Miami Alumni Connect. This is a resource that is run through the alumni office that our office does some work with as well. It's a database of about 3,000 Miami alumni that have all volunteered to serve as mentors to students, from simple questions to meetings, to job shadows, to informational interviews, to advice for life or grad school. What's nice about this is these alumni are all ready to be contacted. So our office can help a student set up a profile. If a student is exploring, what can I do with this degree, or what opportunities are there in business? Or what have some done that have non-business degrees, and how do they get into the business field? The student can search all that data and make contact with alumni. There's a recent success story I was made aware of where a student reached out to an executive at a major technology company, very well known in California. And the student was able to arrange coffee with this executive over summer break. And great connections have been made, and the student is now having their eyes open to some really neat things in the world and making a friend and a connection in the business community. And also, in addition to the business field, we have a variety of industries represented in Alumni Connect, from nonprofit to government to industry. So these are some great resources that students have. One other thing I want to mention here before I get into this is a resource our office has. And we're able to help students take assessments, one of which is called the Strong Interest Inventory, or the Myers-Briggs type indicator, the MBTI. These can be very useful for students early on in their discovery phase of what they want to do, who they are, what they want to study, what is out there. And our office has trained and certified individuals that can interpret these for the students. So we offer a lot of resources to help students uncover paths into careers, including the business field. One thing here, what we're looking at are a few skills. There's an organization called MACE. It's the National Association of Colleges and Employers. It's the professional organization for our field, career services, and then the employers that recruit individuals. What this organization did is they did a survey of organizations across the board, and they asked these organizations, what skills are you looking for in your candidates? Whether they have this degree or that degree, independent of that, they're looking at general skills. And it lists the top 10, and what we're looking at here are the top 4. Teamwork, 90+% of the employers said students need to have an ability to work on a team. And our office can help a student uncover those opportunities to develop that skill, whether it's in their English class, or their history class project, or a science class, or business class. We're able to help students articulate those to an employer to chart a pathway into the business field if that is their interest. Student organizations are oftentimes very powerful tools for students to build these skills. So as you can see, we're seeing employers broaden their definition or scope of major that they're looking for, and really looking at skills in addition to one's educational background, and then communication, problem solving, and so on. So this is really a cornerstone of what our office does, of helping students discover, explore, and lead to success, hence the name of our office, Career Exploration and Success. So you'll probably start hearing more about this concept. This is a concept that our office has recently rolled out. It's called the career cluster concept. To simply put it, what we're looking at here are a handful of the career clusters that a student is able to choose from. So if I'm an incoming student and I'm still trying to figure out what it is I'm interested in, what I want to do, how can I explore, a student can go on to Handshake and select one, many, all of these interest areas. So if I'm a student and I say, you know what, I remember in high school I took a legal class and I'm interested in learning more about that. Well, they can check box the government law and nonprofit cluster. And then that means the student's going to get some targeted information related to that cluster. For example, tomorrow morning we have a diplomat from the State Department. He oversaw embassies across the world, and he's going to be in our conference, in our lobby over coffee, sitting there and meeting with students for drop-ins. And what a great opportunity for students of any major or year to have the opportunity to meet with a diplomat who's worked for a long time in the foreign service. And each cluster has programs and activities that are attributed to each area. So what we're doing here is we're taking the big world of careers, and it can oftentimes be overwhelming for students, which is understandable. And we're narrowing it down in these different interest areas to allow students to really synergize their career exploration. And these can chart careers into business, outside of business, and in many different areas. And this also relates as well to the assessments that we offer for students to uncover maybe some areas they could test drive or talk to someone or gain some sort of exposure. So we're very excited about this addition to our office in our career community. So here's an overview of Handshake. I want to make sure, and you'll be provided with this, everyone has the hyperlink to this and also the instructions for your students on this. And students have been receiving these promotional materials quite often. Our office also has what's called Circle. It's a newsletter, and this ties in very well to our conversation of business on the notion of exploration and understanding what's out there and what's going on. A student can go here onto this website and customize their areas of interest. So they may be interested in business, marketing, finance, whatever it may be, independent of major. We're able to sign up for a newsletter, and every week we coordinate content from a variety of stakeholders, including advisors, employers, external individuals, and we then, the system has an algorithm where we then funnel and promote certain articles of interest to students. So if I'm an incoming first-year student looking to explore opportunities in business and what's out there, I can sign up for this newsletter and get some very good information. Also, one thing I wanted to make everyone aware of, we have our upcoming career fair next week. We have a two-day fair event where we have organizations coming to Millette Hall on Wednesday the 19th, and organizations coming on day 2, Thursday, September the 20th. And this is a great opportunity for students to connect with organizations. We also have, and this is on our website, what's called the First Time Friendly program. So for example, if there's a first-year student who may not be wanting to look for internships just yet, or they may not be considering going to career fair, they can go and show up to the career fair and get a guided tour of the event. So it's very well marketed and publicized of how they can do this. But a student can show up and they can come in between class. They don't have to dress up for this. And we're going to guide them through a guided tour of what is a fair, what are some tips, and they can experience that in a very, very friendly environment. So this is something we're very excited about. And I would say for students, especially that are looking to chart and explore opportunities in business, this is a really neat opportunity for them to see how broad those opportunities are, and that how organizations are really open to looking for talent across the board. So this will be a very exciting opportunity. One thing I want to mention as well, and I've provided some information here regarding the Farmer School of Business admission requirements. 30 graded credit hours at Miami University, and you'll see the information there. Completion of Math 151 and Econ 201, and there's also a link for you to use here, that .com, to verify course equivalencies, and then also some additional GPA requirements as well. Inquiries, questions, clarifications regarding this process. The bottom bullet point is very important. Non-business students, if they're exploring this path, can always meet with the Farmer School of Business advisor Monday through Friday, 1:30 to 4:30 during their drop-in advising in the Farmer School of Business room 1022. What's very nice about Miami University is everyone is here to help across the board, from staff to faculty to everyone. And these advisors are very knowledgeable of the process, and it can be slightly, as a student, I remember this, it's overwhelming of the credits and the GPA. I encourage students to absolutely reach out to these Farmer School of Business advisors and build a relationship. they could complement the work they do with the Career Center to help with their skill development and self-exploration. But in terms of requirements and what needs to be done admissions-wise, I would defer to this information here. And again, you will receive this. Finally, here I want to provide some information of how easy it is to keep in touch with us in our office, both as a parent and also for your students. Our website has a wealth of information. Information for employers, information for students, information for alum, and information for parents as well. So please, I encourage everyone to check that out. And again, my contact information is at the beginning if you have any questions. Social media as well. We have a very strong presence across the board in these social media applications, and these are great ways to see what's happening and what neat things are going on. So I want to thank everyone for their time. Hopefully I've given a little bit of an overview of our approach and philosophy towards the Pathways to Business. Also, I hope I shared with you how open to help the Career Center is. We always welcome parents referring or encouraging students to come see us. We're very helpful and a great team. And then also I've shared with you some of the admissions requirements for the Farmer School of Business, and I defer you to their advisors to explore that. So now I will, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And sorry about my phone ringing. I should have turned that volume down. Well, great. Looks like we're okay with questions. Thank you again for your time, and best wishes to everyone. And also, just a reminder, this recording of this webinar will be provided and sent to you as well. Great. Thank you so much.